All right, ladies and gentlemen, unscheduled, unplanned podcast excellence coming to you, coming at you. We didn't expect to be doing this. We didn't expect to have to be doing this, but you never know when a punk is going to attack. You never know when a little bitch is going to get out of line and need to be tuned up a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, you know that young Pharaoh is a friend of mine. And let's be honest, young Pharaoh don't need my damn help. He really doesn't. But there's a thing in this world that's called loyalty. And if you ain't got loyalty, you ain't got shit. And young Pharaoh has over 500,000 subscribers. And he's been very, very good to me. He's taken time to come on my show. He's taken time to have me on his show. He has reached out to me on a personal level and invited me to be trained by him at no expense. He has proven himself a gentleman, and more than that, he's a leader. He is a leader of men, and he's a man that's changing the world. And when some little punk tries to get a few clicks by taking on one of our great leaders, somebody has to stand up and say, fuck no. I did this a few years back for Wayne Steiger. That didn't get me much, but I am loyal. And I don't like crows that sit on the phone line and talk shit about eagles. So we're going to talk about a punk attacking a pharaoh today, ladies and gentlemen. And I want you to come back tonight at 10 p.m. for Late Night in the Heartland, our signature show, 10 p.m. Central Time to midnight. And we open the lines, and tonight we're talking about Willy Wonka, the sinister side of dark chocolate, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go with what we're going to talk about today. Sometimes I say I wish I didn't have to do this, but I got to be honest with you, I enjoy the hell out of doing this. I enjoy the hell out of popping a little bitch. And the problem with the internet, and especially with YouTube, is that it allows a punky little piece of shit bitch to talk shit without being worried about being punched right in the face. It'd be a better world if we could just punch in the face every now and then when we need to. And I even long sometimes for those days at Tombstone where a man could settle some shit like a man and you didn't have a bunch of these little bitches trying to pretend they're men. But anyway, I need to get on with it because I don't want to take a lot of your time for this, and it shouldn't take that much time. But we got to start at the beginning. The beginning is to talk about CPAC. What is CPAC? CPAC, ladies and gentlemen, is the Conservative Political Action Conference. And it's an annual political conference that's attended by conservative activists and elected officials from across the United States and beyond. CPAC is hosted by the American Conservative Union. And President Trump will be addressing this convention this year on the 28th, I believe. And that just goes to show you how big a deal this is. And this is really the central issue of why the little punk is even talking to Pharaoh or talking about Pharaoh, is because Pharaoh's at CPAC and he isn't. That's really the main thing that's going on here, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. The American Conservative Union, CPAC, obviously it's a great honor to be invited to speak there. President Trump is speaking there. Young Pharaoh was invited to be a speaker. A great and a powerful honor, and I couldn't be more proud of him. I'm proud of him. He's worked his ass off. He's done it his own way, and he was invited to speak there. And then they disinvited him over some old tweets. They disinvited him today or yesterday over some old tweets. He was disinvited because a lot of jealous, no-talent bitches got upset and began to include his inclusion at the prestigious event, all because they weren't good enough to be invited. And folks, you've got to understand that's what it's really all about. They are mad at young Pharaoh because they're not good enough. They're mad at young Pharaoh because young Pharaoh is the best in the world at what he does. He's like your Christian whistleblower. They're mad at young Pharaoh because they're not as good as young Pharaoh. They're mad at young Pharaoh because they can't rap like young Pharaoh. They're mad at young Pharaoh because they can't fight like young Pharaoh. They're mad at young Pharaoh because they can't style like young Pharaoh. They're mad at young Pharaoh because young Pharaoh has got that it factor that they won't even be able to spell, even though it's just 2 letters. Young Pharaoh has a powerful, commanding presence. It's because he's an avatar. He's an avatar, and it takes one to know one. I'll pat myself on the back a little bit. See, game recognizes game, like recognizes like, avatar recognizes avatar, and you're drawn together and you got each other's backs. And when I first heard that Pharaoh was at CPAC, I could have been like, oh, shit, why is he there? I'm better than he is, and he's just there because he's black. If I was black, I would be there. But see, an avatar doesn't go down that road. An avatar says, hot damn. My brother's at CPAC because he works his ass off and he hasn't compromised, and boom, now he's getting to the top. But some of these little bitches, because they aren't good enough to get invited, they want to attack the ones that are good enough to get invited. It's the same old story. You go out on a phone line, and unless you live in Alaska, my sister lives in Alaska, and I find that this is not true in Alaska. Craziest thing I've ever seen. But unless you live in Alaska, you go out on a phone line, you go outside and you look at the phone lines, you ain't going to see no eagles on the phone lines. Unless you're in Alaska, they do it. It's fucking crazy. But anyway, if you ain't in Alaska, you are look at your phone lines and you're not going to see a flock of eagles sitting on the phone lines, because eagles got way too much shit to do to be sitting around on phone lines. What are you going to see on phone lines? Crows. And what are crows always doing? Can, 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 can. And I think that those crows, a lot of them are saying, look at those eagles up there soaring around, thinking they're big, thinking they know what they're doing. Fuck those eagles. Can, can, can. They're no better than us crows. Can, can, can. And this, what we're talking about, is just some little no-talent bitch crow, some pathetic pussy, getting in trouble, feeling bad, and enough of those little bitches complained, enough of those pathetic pussies hit CPAC up, they got their way, and young Pharaoh got canceled. So these great conservative leaders, CPAC is supposed to be the great conservative leaders, and they bowed to cancel culture. And isn't it a little bit ironic in this year of Black Lives Matter? Isn't it a little ironic in this year of Antifa, but especially in this year of Black Lives Matter? Isn't it a little ironic that a proud black man who says, I will not kneel, a proud black man who says Black Lives Matters is bullshit, a proud black man who puts on a MAGA hat and campaigns and was probably personally responsible for hundreds of thousands of black voters voting for President Trump. Isn't it interesting that in the midst of Black Lives Matter, cancel culture, these great conservative leaders are cutting a guy that had the balls to stand up to cancel culture, a black guy? He has more integrity in his pinky toe than any of these CPAC leaders do. CPAC bowed to cancel culture and wouldn't get the back of a man, a black man, that refused to take a knee. I think that is a horrible, horrible decision. And I believe that CPAC made a great error. Because here's the truth. Right now, in this current political situation, right now in the culture that we're looking at, C in CPAC now stands for cancel. And to be frank with you, right now, CPAC needs young Pharaoh way more than young Pharaoh needs CPAC at this juncture in time. And in case you missed it, barring some 11th hour Hail Mary miracle from President Trump, which I'm still open to, and to be frank, I'm still expecting, but barring some 11th hour Hail Mary snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, great feat by our MAGA master, great feat by, he's got a black belt in MAGA. That's President Donald Trump, and I still am keeping the faith. Without that, the Republican Party's dead. And frank with you, the Republican Party's dead even when Trump comes back and wins, because he's done with them. But the Republican Party is dead. And unless we get a miracle, so is conservative politics. And the conservatives' only hope is to marshal an army of patriots that can force our individual states to revamp their electoral procedures and their voting methodologies. As it stands right now, barring some great 11th hour miracle, as it stands, voting will never matter again because the communists are counting the votes now. The Stalin effect is in full control. And for those of you that don't understand history, Stalin said it doesn't matter who votes. All that matters is who counts the votes. And right now in the United States, we're that way. I don't give a shit what the American Conservative Union does. I don't care what CPAC does. I don't care what the Republicans do. I don't care who runs in 2022 or who doesn't run in 2022. Hell, they could have the perfect John F. Kennedy Jr. could run in 2022 and lose because it's not about who votes. President Trump probably won at least 48, maybe 49 states, and they still did what they did. It doesn't matter anymore about having more MAGA candidates. It doesn't matter anymore about getting out better candidates. It doesn't matter about starting a third party. None of that matters anymore because haven't you realized it doesn't matter who runs. It matters who counts, and we've lost the counting battle. They control that whole system. And unless we get together and destroy that system state by state, our votes will never, ever count again, and it's an exercise in futility. So CPAC needs young Pharaoh way more than young Pharaoh needs CPAC, because without the young Pharaohs doing the do at the grassroots, CPAC is finished. And all the organizations like it are finished. To survive, CPAC needs all the young Pharaohs they can get, and there ain't many of us. Without young Pharaoh, the Republic dies, and CPAC dies with it, and they'll be known as the Communist Political Action Comrades. And CPAC, and some of you irrational bitches in the chat, I'm not even going to look. You cannot diss our great leaders in favor of the, I'm going to give you a language alert. You cannot diss our great leaders in favor of the little whiny cancel cunts and expect us to stay on your side. They did young Pharaoh and all of us wrong. And we will not forget, CPAC, what you did. And neither will we forget the little cancel culture bitches that precipitated it. We will not forget. We will not forget. Do you remember? Hell yes. We will not forget, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages. So who is young Pharaoh? And if there's any two people that are less likely to be broed up, it would be young Pharaoh and me. I mean, look at young Pharaoh, look at me. There ain't no reason in the world why we should be broed up. There ain't no reason in the world why I should have his back. Ain't no reason in the world why he should have my back. Ain't no reason in the world why he should even answer a text message, much less call me and talk to me and be my friend and offer my help. No reason. No reason. But I'm telling you, game recognizes game. Like recognizes like. Avatar recognizes avatar, ladies and gentlemen. And people that are getting shit done recognize people that are getting shit done. And I shouldn't probably share this with you, but I'm going to share it with you. I texted him. I said, major props on CPAC before I know he got booted. And I'll just show you the text so you know that I'm not lying. Somebody, you can screenshot that and know that it's coming from young Pharaoh. And I said, major props on CPAC, brother. You earned it, and you did it your fucking way. Congrats. And he said, thank you. That's a fact. How are you? I said, I'm keeping on. I'm very proud of you. You're making it to the top with zero compromise. You're an inspiration to all people, not just black people. I respect the fuck out of you. And then he said, I greatly appreciate you since day one. And when I'm up there, I'm going to pull all of us up. That's what it's all about. I saw one of you lousy dickhead stupid bitches wrote in there, oh, Jeff's just trying to ride. See you there, family. Jeff's just trying to ride Pharaoh's coattails. Listen, dumbass. It's called working together. It's called helping a brother out. It's called together we're stronger than when we're apart. But young Pharaoh's a modern Renaissance man. He's an entrepreneur. He's a fighter. He's a musician. He's a philosopher. He's a teacher. He's a man among men, and he's my friend. His YouTube channel boasts over 500,000 subscribers, and you whiny bitches can shut up about the money because he's demonetized, just like me, and we're still coming strong. And if you listen, I'd like to have that shirt, actually, that he's wearing. I would wear the fuck out of that shirt. But anyway, if you've listened to young Pharaoh for more than 5 minutes, you know that young Pharaoh is on his way to the top with zero compromise. You think I'm bad? You think I'm strong? You think I don't give a fuck? Listen to young Pharaoh. And you know what? I got to say this because Cynthia reminded me of this. It was a few months ago that I saw young Pharaoh do a call-in show. And I said, that might be a really good idea. But then I thought, what if nobody calls in? But we have Late Night in the Heartland. We're going out to last month. Over 250,000 people watched Late Night in the Heartland. And I have young Pharaoh, and also Alex Stein gave me a little push. But I have young Pharaoh and Alex Stein. Again, two guys that can be more different. See, that's how we roll. I got young Pharaoh to thank for helping me find my niche, helping me find where I'm supposed to be, helping me find what I'm supposed to do. And that's the way it works. He's a great inspiration and motivation to us that are on similar missions. See, we're not here to build email lists. We're not here to sell products. We're not here to build channels. We're not here to build cults. We're here because we have a mission. And Pharaoh's mission, as he's explained it to me, and you've seen us talk about it on air, is to optimize the black race. My mission is to help optimize the white race. And then when the black race and the white race and the yellow race and the red race, somebody else got to do that job because, have you noticed, I'm not black, yellow, or red. Then once all the races get optimized, then we can come together and optimize the human race. And we can join together against that real enemy, which is the other white meat. And we're going to talk about the other white meat coming up. But he reminds me, young Pharaoh does, that your true greatness, remember this is so profound. And I thought it up. Pat on the back, Jeff. Good job, Jeff. Hey, it's a sorry-ass dog that won't wag his own tail every now and then. Young Pharaoh reminds me that your true greatness and your true success lies in being who you are and doing what you do no matter what anyone else tells you. Young Pharaoh reminds me that you cannot be great unless you dare to be great, and you don't give one single fuck what the experts and the naysayers babble about. If you're an eagle, you don't give a fuck about a crow. He reminds me that a man has to be a motherfucking man or he won't be worth a shit anymore to anyone. That's what young Pharaoh reminds me. Do I agree with him about everything? Hell no. Do I have some differences with him? Yes, I do. But he's a man, and there ain't many men left in this world. So men, game recognizes game. Greatness recognizes greatness. Mission recognizes mission. Avatar recognizes avatar. Now let's talk about gematria and Sabbatian Kabbalah, because this is important to our subject matter today. Oh, that's some good coffee, I'm telling you. Now, I know a lot of you get hard and some of you wet over gematria. A lot of you get hard and some of you get wet, depending upon your sex. You silly little itching ear bitches. No matter how many times I break it down to you, no matter how many times I prove it to you, no matter how many times I warn you with receipt after receipt at the receipt, and I didn't know what receipts are until I met young Pharaoh, and I like that word, so I like to use it. No matter how many receipts I stack, I got receipts stacked to the ceiling. You still want to slip your hand down your pants and listen while some preacher of the black magic art of gematria whispers sweet nothings into your ear and you masturbate yourself. You silly little itching ear bitches. I've proven to you that gematria comes from Kabbalah. And modern Kabbalah is Sabbatian Kabbalah, which comes from the Talmud, which gives you instructions on, among other things, having sex with 3-year-olds. And yet you persist in your energetic, masturbatory fervor over a thoroughly dark magic art. And yet you persist in energetic, masturbatory fervor over a thoroughly dark magic art. Robert Seffer was coming into our chat a lot. We got into it over something I still don't understand. And I think I made Robert mad. I hope Robert comes back. He's a great scholar. Robert Seffer also tries to warn you irrational mental and spiritual midgets, because that's what you are if you're still in gematria. His book, 1666, Redemption Through Sin, should be the next thing you read if you still want to insist that gematria is acceptable for use by any aware human being. And if you get that book and read it, or if you refuse to get that book and you still don't get it, then you're probably not aware, and you're likely not even a human being. You're that second generation to creation. You ain't part of that first creation like young Pharaoh and Jeffrey Daugherty and these nearly 50,000 subscribers we got here, and probably most of that 500 he's got over there. I don't know them all. I don't know them all. Long story short, I've done at least 5 videos on this. You got Robert Seffer's book. Long story short, Sabbatian Kabbalah of Jacob Frank is the very seed of modern Illuminati, Freemasonic, dark magic, including gematria. Folks, it doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter what you think. The facts don't give a shit what you think. The facts don't give a shit how you feel. Gematria is a Illuminati art. Gematria is a Freemasonic art. Gematria is dark magic. The Kabbalah that we know today is called Lurianic Kabbalah. And this comes straight out of Robert Seffer's book, which I have verified and vetted on multiple encyclopedic sites. You know how I roll. I bring the receipts. And I don't just trust Robert's receipts. Hell, I don't even trust Pharaoh's receipts. I check Pharaoh's receipts just like he checked mine. That's what you do when you're an eagle. Part of this system of Lurianic Kabbalah includes relationships between events and time through letters and numbers. You'll hear those terms come out of this punk's mouth when we finally get around to him, because he's really not the big part. He's just a little punk. Part of the system of Lurianic Kabbalah involves relationships between events and time, often through letters and numbers. The magical emphasis given to numerological dates is chum in the water. This isn't from Seffer anymore. It's chum in the water to draw, attract, and enslave the weak-minded, dark-hearted, ego and profit-driven subhumans. It's beyond argumentation that gematria has been given to us by Sabbatian, Frankish, Lurianic Kabbalists, who are known for sexual immorality, pedophilia, and blood sacrifice. They are the source of the Illuminati and all its tentacles. In fact, Adam Weishaupt and Amschel Rothschild were counted among the number of the Sabbatian, Frankish, Lurianic Kabbalists. And yet, you want to continue to use it. Oh, but nothing, you dumb bitch. You really think you can play with that dark magic? You can play with the dark magic. But like I've told you before, and by the way, I have forgotten more about magic than any of you bitches know. Who on this chat has been initiated as a high magic ceremonial magician? Me or you? Me. I don't talk unless I know what I'm talking about. And I got into it thinking it might be a source of power for good, but I quickly realized that whenever you're using a spell, an incantation, whenever you're using a sigil, a symbol, whenever you're using the name of another entity that is not you, you pay taxes, fees, and you pay assessments. Nobody rides free. And you think you can dabble in gematria and not have to pay an energetic price? Keep on dabbling in your gematria, and your bitch ass is coming right back here. You're not getting out of this matrix until you give this shit up. Now, we got to mention the Zio Dominion invaders because they're at the center of this controversy. Now, young Pharaoh and I may be a little different on this, but I think if you can read between the lines, if you can be in your rational mind and understand the minefield that I'm navigating and trying to maintain this platform as a method of disseminating information, you might be able to understand what I'm talking about. And if you can't, well, bye. Don't give a shit anyway. Done with you. Many more people that are smart enough to come in out of the fucking rain. Young Pharaoh was cut from CPAC owing to tweets and comments regarding a certain group of people that I have taught are extraterrestrial invaders from another dimension. That's what I talk about. I talk about extra-dimensional invaders, extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional invaders from another dimension. That's what I talk about. That's the Zio Dominions. They are extraterrestrial invaders from another dimension, ladies and gentlemen. I used to think they were from planet X, but I did some more study, and now I realize they're from Portal Z. They're not from planet X. They're not from planet Z. They're from Portal Z. And Portal Z was very likely the key to both the tabernacle in the wilderness and the Holy of Holies in the temple at Jerusalem, and is probably the main reason for a push for the third temple, because they've got to, these people that work with this group want to keep bringing in these entities to keep giving them power. It's like they're chosen or something. And it is this parasitic race of extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional invaders, not human beings, that brought the Sabbatian, Frankist, Lurianic, Kabbalic gematria. And it's this race that you, when you participate in gematria, you are put in energetic connection with. And this is what young Pharaoh was ultimately warning of. And by the way, it was one of their complicit punk-ass bitches that attacked young Pharaoh and is fleecing you as much as he can. Let's talk about the punk. Little Zachary Hubbard thinks he has the most important channel on YouTube. It's called Gematria Effect News. It's mainly a feeder for him to get people to buy his forgettable book that I did buy and I did try to read several times, but it's so poorly written as to be unreadable. It's a feeder. His YouTube channel is a feeder to con people into buying his subscription services for fortune telling and sports betting. You know, you heard of Dear Abby? It should be called Dear Zachy. He wants to con you into buying subscription services for fortune telling and sports betting. But Jeff, he's been on the show before. Yeah, he has. Has he been on the show again? No, not since I whipped his ass in a debate about the Electoral College. At least he's smart enough to know that once you get your ass whipped, don't go looking for another fight. And if you think I handled his ass, dude, if Pharaoh even knew who this bitch was, anyway, you don't want to, it would be ugly. It would be ugly. Little Zachy's a true legend in his own mind. Little Zachy's video is entitled Young Pharaoh Exposed as Jesuit Order Divide and Conquer Pawn by New York Post, February 22, 2021. He's not even a professional enough to use proper capitalization. And the irony of it is, he says he's exposing Pharaoh as a Jesuit when Zachy makes his living peddling Jesuit, Sabatian, Frankish, Lurianic, Kabbalist, black magic, fortune-telling services. And this guy that pushes Jesuit black magic is accusing Pharaoh of being Jesuit? Dude. Young Pharaoh exposes Jesuit doctrine. Young Pharaoh exposes his Jesuit influence. This is classic Zio Dominion Jesuit tactics. You accuse those that are accusing you of being you. Oh, they're being racist, when they're the most racist people on the planet. You'll also notice that little Zachy is producing an attack video to accuse Pharaoh of being a divider. Is there anything more divisive than an attack video? An attack video is as divisive as you can get, but he's using divisiveness to expose Pharaoh for being divisive. Zachy overuses his one blunt tool. It's classic Zio Dominion propaganda tactics. And you know what else it is? What did they do? What did they do to young Pharaoh at CPAC? Little Zachy and all his little bitches buddies. What'd they do? They deplatformed young Pharaoh. Why don't one of you fucking geniuses that's in the chat room giving me shit look up deplatforming? You know what it is? It's a communist, and every single communist revolution was started by the same ethnicity. Look it up and you'll learn something. It's communist tactic to deplatform and not allow people with real truth to speak. That's what Z-Pack did. CPAC did. Ooh, did I slip up and say Z-Pack? Oh, the little bitch is in the chat? Oh, good. Yeah, he's a little faggot anyway. I shouldn't have said that word because that makes gay people endure. And I apologize to gay people, but he is a little bitch. But anyway. That's classic Zio Dominion Jesuit tactics. And as far as conquering goes, little Zachy can make as many videos as he wants until he dies. Conquer young Pharaoh? That bitch will never even be as significant as a pimple on young Pharaoh's ass. Young Pharaoh's changing the world while Zachy hawks fortune telling. Dear Zachy. Dear Zachy. All right, let's get into the actual video, ladies and gentlemen. And I think we are all keyed up. I think everything will be good. It's only a 10-minute video, thank God. And I hate to give him any advertisement, but, you know, that's okay. That's okay. So let's go ahead and check out this video. And I'll be frank with you. I've only listened to a few minutes of the video because I wanted this shit to be fresh. I wanted it to be real. I wanted to give you the real reaction video. And even though this little bitch will probably put a strike against my channel, even though he uses other people's shit all the time, but that's the way these bitches do. That's just the way they are. It's the way these little silly Sally sissies are. But this is fair use. And I'm using it as a basis for a reaction video and for education and for some entertainment. Because if you think I'm having fun right now, you're right. Oh, you're so right. So let's check this shit out, ladies and gentlemen. Little Zachary Hubbard from his mom's living room or basement, maybe grandma's, not sure, attacking the man, the myth, the legend, young Pharaoh. Here's a crow on a wire attacking an eagle. Let's listen.
Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It's February 22nd.
If you're on his channel, you're a lot of things, but you're not a truth seeker.
2021, and today, young Pharaoh made the New York Post.
And boom, that's the big problem right there. Young Pharaoh made the New York Post, and little Zachy didn't. That's the real problem here, ladies and gentlemen. Little Zachy is so butthurt and so jealous and so envious of a real man working his ass off and getting mentioned in the New York Post, while little Zachy, with the most important YouTube channel in the world, gets fucking ignored like he deserves. That's the real problem here, ladies and gentlemen. It's like Pharaoh said, what's his problem? Pharaoh said, who is this guy and what's his problem? And we'll get to that in just a minute. Yeah, what did Pharaoh say exactly? Pharaoh said, laugh out loud, thank you, and WTF is his problem. And I said, jealous little bitch is his problem. And he said, Pharaoh said, yes, exactly, and that's corny. And it is. But this is the real problem, folks. Young Pharaoh on the New York Post and little Zachy getting more attention than he deserves here, frankly. But I got to get my brothers back.
With the headline, CPAC cancels speaker.
And there it is again. Young Pharaoh invited to CPAC. Little Zachy can't even spell CPAC. Woo! Oh, little Zachy, how are you? Wah, 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 wah.
Who said Judaism is a lie. And I'm going to show you what the joke is of this story coming on February 22nd, the 53rd day of the year. Been trying to get young Pharaoh for many years to share the language of gematria with his audience.
Number one,
February
that's a fucking lie. He makes it sound like I've been trying for years to get young Pharaoh to share the message of gematria on his channel. It's funny because young Pharaoh never even heard of this motherfucker. Young Pharaoh's like, who's that? Young Pharaoh don't know who little Zachy is, but little Zachy's trying to make you think he's been in consultations with young Pharaoh. He's been working with young Pharaoh. He's been negotiating with young Pharaoh. Bitch, you ain't even got his phone number. He's trying to dope me. It's been very intense negotiations, very intense, and he's been trying his best, and he's been trying to be nice, and he's been working with young Pharaoh, trying to get him to share the message in Montreal. Bitch, please. Young Pharaoh don't even know who the fuck you are. Lying piece of shit. This is a guy in his mom's fucking apartment, in his mom's basement, his grandma's basement, trying to hawk fortune telling so he can afford his own house someday, or maybe it's his own apartment. But you know what's really pisses him off is young Pharaoh has got his own damn house, and young Pharaoh is probably half his age. Young Pharaoh is changing the world, and he's still hawking fortune telling and having to go after eagles because he knows deep down this is all about little Zachy knowing that he'll never be any more than what he is. He'll never be any more than a crow. Never. So knowing that you're never going to be more than a crow, what do? You go after eagles.
Judaism is a lie. And I'm going to show you what the joke is.
You're the joke, bitch.
On February 22nd, the 53rd day of the year. Been trying to get young Pharaoh for many years to share the language of gematria with his
liar.
I started to wonder in recent times if he actually might be controlled by the same Jesuit cabal that I work to expose every single day.
How the fuck do you work to expose a Jesuit cabal when the shit you teach is the black magic? It is the want some candy little girl of the Jesuit black magic cabal. Look, buy the fucking book. Don't believe me. Robert Seffer's a great, great researcher. Buy the book. Read the fucking history. What he teaches every single day is the black magic bullshit from the Jesuit cabal.
And that suspicion first came with the fact that he's able to get away with murder on YouTube. He says all sorts of things the rest of us get deleted for.
Poor little Zachy. He got this that. Can you imagine a grown fucking man going on YouTube and crying like a little bitch? Can you imagine? I mean, it's really embarrassing. Young Pharaoh brings it strong and he brings it hard. But guess what? Young Pharaoh's demonetized. He's demonetized, but young Pharaoh is also fucking brilliant. So he knows how to navigate through that minefield. And just because he's smarter than you are and better than you are, little Zachy, don't mean you should be hating on a brother. You should be smart enough to do what I do. It's called modeling. And I know I look good and I could be a model, but I'm not talking about that kind of modeling. I'm talking about I want to change the world. Let me find somebody already changing the world and I'll model. I'll do what they do. So, shit. First, it was Rex Bear. Love Rex. Everything I know on YouTube until I met young Pharaoh was from Rex Bear. Then I met young Pharaoh. I'm like, damn, Rex had got it going on, but fucking young Pharaoh, he takes that shit to another level. But young Pharaoh's half your age. Young Pharaoh, I don't give a goddamn. This brother's getting it done. And instead of bitching about him and complaining about him like little Zachy, I said, I can learn something from this motherfucker. This motherfucker's doing shit. He's at CPAC. He's on New York Post. He got 500,000 subscribers. He's changing the world. That's what I want to do. I can either, it's like Jimmy Swaggart told me one day. Somebody was attacking Jimmy on TV and Jimmy muted it. And he said to me, he said, Jeffrey, always remember. I think he just said Jeff. There's two ways to have the biggest ministry. Number one is to build a ministry that serves more people and meets more needs. We're not taking calls yet. Build a ministry that serves more people and meets more needs. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is try to tear down everybody else's ministry so yours is the only one left standing. What you're seeing is two opposing views in relation to, you distract me when you call in. So if you continue to call before I open the lines, I will simply block your number and you will never, ever be able to call again. So please don't call until we open the lines. I promise you that I will. What you're seeing here is two different displays of how to be the best. Number one is game recognizes game. I recognize, damn, young Pharaoh's got it going on. Let me model him. Let me learn how to reach more people. Let me learn how to serve more people. Let me know how to bring an important message. And then you got the other way, the little Zachy bitch way. Let me try to attack and tear down everybody else because I got the most important YouTube channel in the world. Listen, motherfucker. If you had the most important YouTube channel in the world, you'd be young Pharaoh, and he'd be a crow on a wire bitching about you. Young Pharaoh is a fucking avatar. Young Pharaoh is changing the world. I'm learning from him. And we're going to be changing the world together. I'll warn you politely one more time. If you call in with this number, you will be deleted and never allowed to call again. I don't want to be distracted in such an important presentation. We're simply not going to permit it. Okay. Back to little Zachy's bitchy little rant. They should make a movie.
Young Pharaoh started his first channel a year after I started mine. And
whoops, shit, what happened? Look at this. Are we going to get messed with a little bit? That's okay. We can get messed with a little bit because we'll just come right back. We'll just come right back, ladies and gentlemen. We got no worries. We got no problems. We're going to get right back on it. And see, there again, Pharaoh's been doing it less time than Zachy, and he's kicking Zachy's ass. And that's the real problem, ladies and gentlemen. That's the real problem. That's the real difficulty that we've got here. That's the real difficulty that we've got here. And if you can't see it, then you're blind. Let me see if I can find where we were. About there, I think.
Year after I started mine.
How good am I?
And I've been deleted 19 times to date. My main channel is about to be deleted for the 20th time. Now that
thank the baby Jesus.
1,000 subscribers, and it's hard to have much of a channel.
62,000 subscribers, not 80. You lying motherfucker.
And he says things that I have never. He's again. You know, it's been a tippy toe platform the whole time I've been here. Strikes, suspensions, hard to keep your channel up. You know, young Pharaoh and I talk about similar things. Welcome back, Truth Seeker.
Oh, shit.
It's February 22nd.
Bitch, please. You and Pharaoh don't talk about any similar things. And it is a tippy-toe platform, which means he's way fucking smarter than you are. And so am I, because I've managed not to get deleted. And we talk way more shit and bring way more truth. We're way down. We're not just fucking telling people, dear Abby fortunes. We are still on when you're not, even though we're demonetized. Number one, you don't have the tenacity or the integrity to do it unless you're getting paid. We do, me and YP up here behind me. And that's not just, he got my back. I got his. That's a nice metaphor. We are entrepreneurial. Look, I quit a job that was making me in the hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to do this. Young Pharaoh came out of prison and is doing this. But I'll guarantee you that little Zachy pulls his bitch ass out of bed every morning and goes to work for somebody else. Young Pharaoh don't go to work for nobody else. Jeffrey Daugherty don't go to work for nobody else. Why? Because we are motherfuckers. We are fucking eagles. And we're soaring. And then there's little Zachy. I don't know how to stop this thing without doing that every time.
Tippy toe platform the whole time I've been here. Strikes, suspensions, hard to keep your channel up. You know, young Pharaoh and I talk about similar things, but he'll be way more blunt and direct about it.
Yes, he will. And so will I.
It shouldn't be a real thing, but most of us have to walk on eggshells. And if we say even half of what he says, man, our whole channel's down.
Because you're stupid.
So, again, he gets a different set of rules.
No, he doesn't. See, that's the way. That's the way the fucking losers always do it. It's not fair. They cheated. Motherfucker, he's just better than you. He's just smarter than you. He's just more strategic than you. Your problem is you're still playing their game. Young Pharaoh make his own motherfucking game and play it by his own motherfucking rules. And here's what you don't understand, little Zachy. And I probably shouldn't give this to you because it's a big hint. Young Pharaoh, and to a very increasing extent myself, if we fucking got kicked off of YouTube today, oh well. Because YouTube, when you know, and this is what you're too stupid to figure out, YouTube, how many years you been knowing that it's a tippy-toe platform? And yet, you haven't made any preparations beyond that. Dude, if you quit talking shit about Young Pharaoh and go look at the shit he's doing, are you a subscriber to Young Pharaoh University? No, because you're too fucking stupid and egotistical. I am. And I know that if there's 500,000 bitches on his YouTube channel, he got about 1 million on his Pharaoh University. So what do I got? I got JeffreyDaugherty.com. And I got my videos there. And I got Library. And I got DLive. And I got... what's the other one? Odyssey. Because we're smarter, and we may not even be smarter than Zachary. Zachary's probably a smart guy. He's just a little bitch. And instead of manning up and saying, oh shit, this is dodgy, what can I do? He just wants to sit around and cry and whine and say, why does he get to do it and I don't get to do it? Do you realize what a little child you sound like? I'm guessing he's an only child. And I understand his mother even called into a show or to a show and busted him out. It's pretty bad when your own mama is going to call up and say he's full of shit. Listen, my mama don't like what I do. My mama loves her some Jesus. But my mama, she don't even watch me. She don't like it. But my mom is not going to call up and bust me out. Oh, shit. His mom called him up. Oh, God, I don't know if that's true. It was in the chat room, but that's some funny shit right there. Little Zachy, quit complaining, quit crying, quit whining, change your fucking diaper, throw away your pacifier, and learn from the man instead of fucking criticize him. And you might get somewhere, but you won't because you won't. That fucking ring Pharaoh's wearing is worth more than you'll make this year. And that ain't anything, but in a way, it is something.
There's a lot of divisiveness. That's exactly what the Jesuit motto is, divide and conquer.
Wait a second. Did he just say, and I haven't heard this shit, did he just say that young Pharaoh is divisive? Zachy, are you fucking crazy? Look at me. Look at Pharaoh. Look at me. Look at Pharaoh. We've been on repeatedly together. I've probably got, I don't know, I asked Cynthia. We got thousands of subscribers from Little Pharaoh's channel. Divisive? I'll tell you who Little Pharaoh is. Little Pharaoh. I'm sorry, brother. I do that every now and then. I'll tell you who young Pharaoh is dividing. He's dividing the sheep from the wolves. He's dividing the crows from the eagles. He's dividing the motherfuckers from the bitches. Young Pharaoh and I are as diverse as you could be, but we are each other's brother and we got each other's back because we've realized they want us to think that he's my enemy and I'm his enemy. We figured this shit out. We're both in separate slave houses on the plantation, and we're getting our shit together so we can go after the owners of the plantation because it ain't Pharaoh owning it and it ain't Daugherty owning it. It's that other white meat. The Zio-Dominions, the invaders from another dimension, another planet. Divisive. The only thing he's dividing is the bitches from the eagles.
I noticed something about young Pharaoh. It's the day that his channel was created, the 201st day of the year.
And here we go with the black magic, Sabatian, Lurianic, Kabbalah, black magic. You could convince anybody of anything with this bullshit. No substance. So now he's going to go into some of his Lurianic, Zio-Dominion, black magic, Kabbalistic bullshit to show you why Pharaoh's bad. And really, in an effort to make him not look like the piece of shit that he is, he just can't stand the fact that young Pharaoh is so much fucking better than he is. Look. I got even less subscribers than little Zachy. Am I jealous of young Pharaoh? Fuck no. He's better at what he does than I am. In YouTube, I'm the best in the world at what I do. But Pharaoh's doing some shit that I don't understand yet. And I respect the hell out of that. I model that. I don't bitch about it. That's why I'm going to the top with my brother. And little Zachy is going to be insignificant. He's going to stay on that wire, con like a little bitch-ass crow.
They're one of the most special numbers to the Jesuit Order 201. And just to show you something real quick.
And do you know that I got to tell you again, folks, the Jesuit Order is part of the Illuminati, part of the Sabatian, part of the Lurianic, part of the Kabbalah system that brings you gematria. He is doing double talk. He is using their black magic bullshit, and he's trying to convince you that he's not. It's classic. Jesuit, communist, Lurianic, Kabbalistic, double talk. You're being fucking played. And some of you, I'm not even looking at the chat intentionally. Some of you don't even fucking know it. You're so Stockholm Syndrome and you're so addicted to the blood that you can't even see this shit. And I can't help you.
Gematria. Been trying to get him to talk about it for a long time. His birthday,
which isn't true. Young Pharaoh don't even know who the fuck he is. But even if he did, there's a reason why young Pharaoh don't talk about gematria. Because it's black fucking magic. And there's bad shit associated with it. Young Pharaoh don't need none of that. We do it. We don't need the black magic. We do it the old-fashioned way. We fucking earn this shit. We're not beholding to any magical order or any words or any code. No, it's our own shit. Pharaoh don't answer to no fucking body, except maybe Mrs. Pharaoh every now and then. And he'd probably dispute that too, but come on. You know the truth, young Pharaoh.
August 30th, from his birthday to the day that he got this headline was his 177th day of his age. The Jesuit order equals 177 forwards, 201 in reverse. And these numbers are used so ritualistically.
Oh, fuck. Are you kidding me?
Big headline just recently.
I ain't got shit on him. He's way better than me. But let me come up with some 1, 2, 3 equals 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Carry the one. That proves that he's bad. God, are you really that fuck? This is pathetic to watch. This is really pathetic. I don't even know if I take the whole thing, but let's get. You know what I should do? I can't make him go fast on this.
Captain Tom of the UK. He was knighted on July 17th, 17/7. And he died on February 2nd, 201 days later. And he's remembered for being the hero of the Burma campaign in the World Wars. Burma, where they're now having the conflict, where the military just overthrew the government, and the government that was established on the day that Jesuits were recognized by Roman history. Again, all this stuff has to do with the Jesuit order, which is the New World Order.
Which is your magic.
Anyway, one of the big headlines out of what's going on in the Burmese conflict right now, the Myanmar conflict, Burma and Myanmar are the same place. But you get this international headline.
It'll always be Burma to me.
Young woman who was killed protesting, whose name is 201 and 84, just like the Jesuit order is 201 and 84, also 78 like Jesuit. Again, these numbers are used so ritualistically.
All you itchy ear motherfuckers ought to be ashamed of yourself. This is bullshit. And if it does work, it works because it's black fucking magic from the Gematria, Kabbalah, Talmud, all the shit he's trying to come against. He's part of it. This is called classic propaganda. He's one of them, and he's trying to convince you he's not by saying he's not when he's using their shit. Listen. If I am against cue cards, these are just note cards. I put my notes on. See, I put your fucking number on there to block you if you call back again. If I'm against note cards, note cards are evil. Note cards are the cabal. Note cards are the devil. And then you see me using note cards. You're like, wait a minute, what the fuck? I thought the note cards was from the devil. This little bitch over here, little Zachy, in his mama's fucking in his room in his mom's house, talking about how bad Jesuit is, but he's using Jesuit black magic. He's talking about how bad the Illuminati is. He's using Illuminati black magic. I proved it to you. Weishaupt, Rothschild, they're in the middle of it. But he's using it and telling you that it's bad. Hypocrite much? Are the fucking bells going off yet?
Hey, notice Young Pharaoh's channel was established July 20th. That's the 201st day of the year. July 20th. That's the day in history the moon landing happened. The moon landing, the first man on the moon. His name.
So wait a minute. He's telling me that young Pharaoh, this punk, is attacking a Pharaoh, saying that. Oh shit! I'm not sharing the video. He's saying that. I hope you can still hear it. He's saying that the reason why young Pharaoh started his channel on that day is because it's the same day that the fucking moon landing occurred. You know, I ain't talking no shit on young Pharaoh, but I can almost guarantee you that young Pharaoh didn't even know that was the day that they fucking landed on the moon when he started that channel. It had nothing to do with it. Nothing. This is more bullshit from a bullshit artist.
Neil Alden Armstrong, look it up. All facts. Neil Alden Armstrong, 201.
They're not facts.
And again, big boss number with the Jesuit order. Gematria is based on the alphabetic order forwards and backwards.
But who cares, Zachy?
Numerology. But you see how the Jesuit order is 201? Again, the founder of the Jesuit.
And so all this proves that Pharaoh started his channel on that day because it was this. Pharaoh didn't even know that shit. You just said he won't fucking talk to you. And I'll guarantee he hasn't read your fucking books, or how would he know? Come on, man. You're pathetic. It really is pathetic. But some of you are buying the bullshit. You want more. You want more. You got your hand down your pants. Oh, Zach, say it again. Oh, Zach, give me another letter. Oh, Zach, another number. I'm almost there. You're pathetic as he is.
Which is Ignatius of Loyola, whose name is 201. The first Jesuit pope is Pope Francis, whose birth name is Jorge Mario Bergoglio.
Which means nothing.
And look it up. He's the first ever pope to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican.
Which means nothing.
And, again, the name of his apartment is the Domus Sanctae Marte, which is 201.
What the fuck does this have to do with young Pharaoh and the fact that he's better than you? God damn it. I don't know why that happens, but I obviously don't know totally what I'm doing here. So we'll just bring it right back. It ain't no issue. Don't need to grab a tissue. It'll be good. It'll be good. Just give me a sec, and we'll be right back in business. You know, I mean, all of this show, it's just facts. You're pointing out irrelevant bullshit, man. What's this got to do with young Pharaoh? That's all I want to know. What does this got to do with young Pharaoh? Do you want to tell me that just because all this shit is 201 and he happened to start his fucking channel on the day that's 201? Man, that is weaker than Circus Lemonade. It really is. That's weaker than Circus fucking Lemonade. And you are pathetic, but the more pathetic thing is you got these people doing their energetic, spiritual, mutual masturbation to your bullshit, which I don't get. I really don't get. Let's see how close I can get to where this is again. I think we're about right in here.
Moon landing happened. The moon landing, the first man on the rules of numerology. But you see how the Jesuit order is 201? Again, the founder of the Jesuits is Ignatius of Loyola, whose name is 201. The first Jesuit pope is Pope Francis, whose birth 201 was the coronavirus outbreak simulation and a whole bunch of stuff. You know, they got the whole world ignited over the George.
This is called confusing you. This ain't got shit to do with young Pharaoh. But you think, oh, yeah, this makes sense.
Mama's name was Roxy Washington.
So if he says young Pharaoh's bad, then young Pharaoh might be bad because this makes sense.
Right after the Treasury Secretary,
it's called distraction.
Dude said that they weren't going
to. That's why it's magic.
On the $20 bill for at least 8 more years. And that was days before the counterfeit $20 bill story with George Floyd, which was a 201. Again, just understand, they put this 201 on their agents. Their thing is divide and conquer, the Jesuits. Young Pharaoh's preaching segregation, you guys. He's been preaching segregation.
Not true. Not true. Because, see, young Pharaoh and I have a thing called a phone conversation. Young Pharaoh and I have a thing called a friendship. And all you have to do is go onto my channel and type in Young Pharaoh and watch the videos that Young Pharaoh and I have done together. Or go to Young Pharaoh's channel and type in Jeffrey Daugherty and watch the videos we've done together. What Pharaoh teaches is this. Pharaoh teaches that right now, black folks are in a bad situation and they got to quit relying on any other folks to dig them out of that situation. They got to go to work on their own shit to get their own race right. And he has sat on the air and told me, Jeff, you need to work with your race and get your race up to the point where they're badass. And I'll work on my race, he says, to the point where we're badass. And then we can get together and defeat the real enemies, which is the Jesuit cabal that Hubbard is using the magic of to give you this bullshit. What Pharaoh says is right now, and he knows exactly what Pharaoh says, but he won't tell you what Pharaoh says. Pharaoh says he's in favor of, right now it's either 70, I think it's 75 or 85% segregation is what he said he's in favor of. And let me tell you why he's in favor of that. Young Pharaoh don't need me to stick up for him, but I'm trying to show you what a little bitch this guy is. The reason why Pharaoh wants, let's just say it's 75% segregation. It might be 85, not sure. Well, we'll take 85. The reason why Pharaoh is calling for 85% segregation in the black community is because he wants black people to fucking help themselves. He knows that for whatever reason, black people have been conned into a culture of dependency on other people to take care of their ass. That's why Pharaoh's starting a bank. That's why Pharaoh's starting stores. That's why Pharaoh's starting modeling agencies and starting studios and shit. Because he realizes that his people are being fucked over by other people. And some of them are so fucking habitually into it that they got to have some fucking cold turkey. I remember when I was dating crazy bitch after crazy bitch after crazy bitch, and I realized the only common denominator was this crazy bitch. So what did I do? I quit dating for a year and a half. Got my shit together. So I did 100% segregation, Zachy. Young Pharaoh is calling for that segregation so his people can work together, pick their own damn selves up, solve their own fucking problems. And I'm on this side working the white people to solve our own fucking problems and be proud of who we are. Now they got us where we can't be proud of who we are. Oh, white privilege. Fuck you. We're loud and we're proud and we're getting stronger and we're getting better and we're getting faster. And sooner or later, Pharaoh going to have the black folks all tuned up. We're going to have the white folks all tuned up. I combined tuned and turned and made it tuned. I guess it would work. Pretty soon we'll have each other all tuned up, and then we can take on the real enemies of humanity and defeat them. Hubbard's over here trying to keep the divide and conquer paradigm going. He's trying to tell you that Pharaoh is trying to bring divisiveness amongst the races. He just sat there in his little fucking beanie in his mom's house or his apartment. Sorry, you ain't got a big fucking mansion with a pool like Pharaoh does. It's not a mansion, but you know what I'm talking about. Don't hate the player, hate the game, and get better at your fucking game. I'll look over here because he's on another monitor. He's trying to make you believe that Pharaoh hates white people. He doesn't. Pharaoh loves all people. He's trying to make you think that he's the one trying to bring together when he's the one that's trying to divide. Can't you see it? He's got one fucking blunt instrument and he plays it over and over and over and over and over again. That's because our enemies aren't that fucking smart. And that's why his channel's a piece of shit and Pharaoh's rocking the Casbah. And that the worst thing is that he realizes it. That's the worst thing, and it's fucking eating him alive. He wants to do everything he can to destroy every other channel so his most important YouTube channel in the world can be the biggest one. And listen, bro, here's a clue. Even if you were the only fucking channel on YouTube, you'd still have 62,000 subscribers because lots of people see through your bullshit.
I mean, you can't be more divisive.
Yeah, you're trying to. That's not divisive.
Yeah, man, on his 177th day of his age, this headline, and here's the thing. February 22nd is the 53rd day of the year. Religion's 53. And he's being accused of being anti-Semitic. Again, in the Old Testament, the Hebrews have dark skin. You know, Methuselah's clearly black. He has an albino child.
I don't agree with that.
So,
that's stupid.
For a young black man to be accused of anti-Semitic, this is also a level of mockery right here. But
you are so fucking stupid. You don't even know what you're talking about.
His August 30th birthday, born in 93, that big year. He's always preaching, praise the sun, worship the sun. They tell us the sun's 93 million miles away. Again, with the most simple cipher, you guys. The most simple cipher.
Young Pharaoh knows the sun ain't 93 million miles away.
Nazareth 93, Crucifix 93. God.
I got to stop it again. Here's all the shit he's going with, all this Christian shit. One question. Is young Pharaoh a Christian? If you would watch his fucking channel, you little bitch, instead of doing all your black magic bullshit, you would know that young Pharaoh teaches against Christianity. He tries to get black people out of a white man's religion, and it is a white man's religion, but it's the other white meat. So all of you've got to understand what little Zachy's trying to do. He throws up all this random bullshit. See, it adds up to this and adds up to that, and you're like, oh, well, it does add up to this. And it's in sales, it's called yes momentum. It's a nice day, isn't it? Yes. You love your wife, don't you? Yes. This is a really nice pen, isn't it? Yes. Want to buy a timeshare? And you're supposed to be predispositioned to say yes. So what he's trying to do is show you all of these random things. Well, see, it's facts right here. It adds up. But it hasn't got fuck all to do with young Pharaoh having 500,000 subscribers and him having 60. It all adds up. It ain't got fuck all to do with young Pharaoh on the New York Post and young Pharaoh at CPAC and little Zachy insignificant. Nobody gives a fuck about him. But it helps him feel like he's being, victimized. I'm a victim. No, you just aren't very fucking good at what you do. And the sooner you realize that and step up your fucking game and start modeling a motherfucker instead of attacking him, you're going to be in the same fucking position that you're in. Because guess what, bro? The whole fucking world ain't against you. You just ain't very fucking good. And when you realize that, then your life will change. And all of you watching, listen, all those crazy bitches, it wasn't their fault. It was my fault. I couldn't get my YouTube channel going either until I quit my fucking job and dedicated my life to it. It is not everybody else's fault. It's not your mama's fault because she didn't hold you enough. It's not your mama's fault because she didn't give you the titty long enough. It ain't your dad's fault because he wouldn't let you drive when you were 12. It's your own fucking fault because you haven't figured this shit out yet. It's time to man the fuck up and quit blaming other people for our own insufficiencies and be divine, be sovereign, and be free. And it's time to realize that we had 2,000 years of their black magic, and look where it's got us. Look the fuck around. Well, don't look around here because me and Cynthia got it banging because we know what the fuck's up. But look around this world. What is 2,000 years of Judeo-Christian, Frankish, Limish, Sabbatian, Lurianic, Gematria, Kabbalah gotten you? Fucked the hell up. You might want to try something different. Oh, but it adds up to 123. It's called distraction.
Son, Catholic Church gave us the language, the calendar. It's all synced up with Jesus, the Son, S-U-N, the Son, S-O-N. You know,
he doesn't believe in any of that
young
bullshit.
Pharaoh saying Jesus is evil. He's blocking out the Son. Worship the Son directly. Again, I'm not here to tell you what to believe or what to worship. But
well, good, because you suck at it. But what is Pharaoh telling? He's saying that Jesus blocks out the Son. And the Son is maybe a portal of divinity. Guess what? Plastic Jesus is blocking out divinity. Because plastic Jesus teaches that you have original sin. Young Pharaoh knows that you got the spark of divinity within. Plastic Jesus says that you got to go on bended knee for salvation to him because he's the only savior. Young Pharaoh knows that we were born with the spark of divinity within and we're divine, sovereign, and free. And in case you haven't fucking noticed, Hubbard, all life does come from the sun. What makes the sun? What makes plants grow? What can't you live without? The sun. The sun is the source. Oh, but young Pharaoh's bad for pointing out that the sun is the source. And yes, Jesus is fake ass. Jesus is fake. And you know why Jesus is fake? Proof that he's not without using the Bible. You can't. Young Pharaoh's smart enough to figure that out. Little Zachy's not.
But young Pharaoh's just so divisive, even when he talks about religion and spirituality.
So
and again,
divisive.
It's just obvious. He's here to
Whoops, what happened? Oh, it stopped the video.
Provoke and divide. He is a Jesuit pawn.
How is Pharaoh here to provoke and divide when all he's trying to do is get us together? How is he here to provoke and divide when all he's trying to do is get us together? And Hubbard's the one who's dividing. Hubbard's the one who's provoking. Little Zachy talking bullshit.
Welcome back, Truth Seeker.
It's
February 22nd, 2000. Young Pharaoh saying Jesus is evil. He's blocking out the sun. Worship the sun directly.
Which is good advice.
Tell you what to believe or what to worship, but young Pharaoh's just so divisive, even when he talks about religion and spirituality. And again, it's just obvious. He's here to provoke and divide.
What this bitch doesn't understand, because he's obviously incapable of understanding, he's not in his rational mind. What Pharaoh and Daugherty are doing is saying that religion is dividing mankind. Religion is made to divide mankind. We're divine, we're sovereign, we're free. We got one religion, nature. 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 Pharaoh teaches you to get your body in shape, get your mind in shape, get your finances in shape. Don't believe in religion. Seek your own divinity and develop it. And I teach the same thing, and this little bitch don't like it because he doesn't get the results that he wants. And instead of examining himself and realizing that he's not getting the results he wants because he's not doing the right things often enough and the shit he's doing doesn't work, it's easier to blame young Pharaoh for being a shill, and it's easier to blame young Pharaoh for being divisive. It's easier to blame young Pharaoh. It's a lot easier to point your finger at somebody that's getting it done. And here he is, taking on the doer of the deed, the man that's in the arena, working his ass off. Young Pharaoh fails too. But at least young Pharaoh is not sitting in his mom's fucking basement making divisive attack videos about somebody else that don't even have anything to do with him. This whole thing is because little Zachy is upset that Pharaoh's better at this game than he is. That's the whole thing. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages, don't you think that I realized, wait, Pharaoh's a lot better at this shit than I am. I did. What did I do? I modeled him. And I'm getting better and better and better. He attacks him. And he's growing more and more insignificant. And he looks pathetic. And he sounds like a whiny bitch. And that shit don't sell for long.
He is a Jesuit pawn.
Says the guy who uses Jesuit black magic, which demonstrably is. And Pharaoh is constantly speaking out against the Jesuits and the Illuminati and the New World Order. Constantly. But he knows that if you're on his channel, you're hooked on his bullshit. And he doesn't have to worry about you actually doing any investigation because you don't have the integrity or the tenacity to do so. So he can get away with saying that shit.
Welcome back, True Seeker.
Oh, fuck.
It's February 3. Malcolm X is 93. When you write out Black History Month, it's 93.
I want to get to this.
People of the Sun with the skin, as opposed to 39 books. And again, you got to know your gematria. Catholics 46, JFK, the only Catholic president to date. Listen, divide us. He was the perfect character. Who did young Pharaoh get behind? He's putting out a racially divisive. He knows he will get cleaned up. Young Pharaoh saying Jesus is evil. He's blocking out the sun. What to worship. But young Pharaoh's just so divisive, even when he talks about religion and spirituality.
I'll let this go.
And again, it's just obvious. He's here to provoke and divide. He is a Jesuit pawn. I've been seeing it. That's why he's scared to debate. That's why he will not debate. He knows he will get cleaned up. He knows he will get exposed.
Are you fucking serious right now? I haven't heard this. Listen, I debated this fool, and you can go on my channel. It's Just look up Electoral College. I fed him his fucking lunch, and at the end of the debate, he was apologizing to me and saying, Jeff, you're right. Listen, motherfucker, you are not very good at that shit. You shouldn't be trying to provoke a master. And young Pharaoh doesn't, and just because young Pharaoh doesn't know who you are and has never said one word to you doesn't mean that he's refusing to debate you. It means he doesn't know who the fuck you are. That's not the same as refusing to debate. So quit lying. See, he tries to make it sound like young Pharaoh's like, no, Zach, I'm afraid of you. I'm afraid of you. The fact of the matter is, young Pharaoh doesn't even know who little Zachy is. He's never refused to debate him. He's never even fucking had one conscious thought about little Zachy because he doesn't know who the fuck he is. He doesn't know any more about Zachary Hubbard than he knows about Tracy Dyer because he doesn't know either one of them. But Tracy Dyer got bigger balls than Zachary Hubbard, I'll guarantee you. Bitch, please.
So you guys got to wise up that are following young Pharaoh. He's on a bad path. He's out for himself. He's out for his own wealth. And he's putting out a bad message, you guys. He's putting out a racially divisive message. That's not what we need.
That's all lies.
That's what we need. Go back and see my video from February of 2016, why Donald Trump would be the next president, because he was here to polarize us and divide us. He was the perfect character. Who did young Pharaoh get behind? He got behind Donald Trump. And by the way, all year we told you why Joe Biden was going to win the rigged election. Again, it was 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday, first Jesuit Pope. And
liberal piece of
Catholic
shit.
46, JFK, the only Catholic president to date, number 30.
Of course, Hubbard. Of course, little Zachy is for Biden. Of course, little Zachy was against Trump because Trump was a nationalist. And then when you're part of the Lurian, Kabbalistic, Gematria, Frankish, Sabatian, Zio-Dominion power structure, you've got to be against nationalism. And guess what, bitch? Go ahead and count your fucking chickens on Donald Trump. Go ahead and count your chickens before they hatch. Go ahead and count those motherfuckers. Do you understand what you talk about young Pharaoh's all about himself. Young Pharaoh's all about getting money. Young Pharaoh's all about getting followers. Think about this for a minute. Look at young Pharaoh over my left shoulder. How hard do you think it was for young Pharaoh to come out in support of Donald Trump? I'll bet 90% of young Pharaoh's subscribers are black. 90% of young Pharaoh's subscribers are black. And young Pharaoh came out, and I like to think part of it had to do with me because we talked a lot and did some shows. Young Pharaoh came out in favor of Donald Trump. How hard do you think it was for that man right there to come out in favor of Donald Trump? What do you think it did to his 90% base of support on YouTube? At the very least, they said, what the fuck, bruh? You know what that shows me? Character. You know what that shows me? Tenacity. You know what that shows me? I don't give a fuck if he's white, yellow, black, brown, polka dotted, zebra, one of them half and half motherfuckers from Star Trek, the original series. I don't care. He's saying the right words to inspire the people. I'll tell you why young Pharaoh was with Donald Trump. I know. I talked to him. He was with Donald Trump because Donald Trump was with them on the opportunity zones. And Donald Trump was with them on closing down the borders so the American people can take care of the American stuff without having to worry about competition from other people. He was with Donald Trump because Donald Trump has always been with and fair to black people. That's why he was with. And because he was with Donald Trump because he knew Donald Trump knew how to make money, make shit run right. And Pharaoh knows if they can make this shit run right, he can teach people to take advantage of a system that runs right. That's why young Pharaoh supported Donald Trump. That's why. Not because your fucking magic 8-ball says that Donald Trump is this and that, and young Pharaoh's mother's first orgasm was on this date. And that's when Pharaoh was conceived. So come on, man. Enough with your fucking bullshit. Nobody's buying your magic 8-ball bullshit anymore. Please work. It's when I go off it. It does that. But that's all right. We'll go right back to it. We'll go right back to it. Don't worry. We'll go right back to it, ladies and gentlemen. Now I know what the problem is. Now I know what the problem is. It won't happen again. It won't happen again, I promise. But see, I did a good thing, as I remembered we were right up here by this F.
Holy See, C-I. You know, that's what they call it, the Holy See. Anyway.
What's that got to do with Pharaoh, who's not a
Pharaoh
Christian?
Not teaching you this knowledge, but you need it.
Why do we need that fucking bullshit black? It does not. It's bullshit. It's a magic 8-ball.
Where you can see right through agents like young Pharaoh. I knew this dude's been a Jesuit pawn, man. It's just been too obvious. He'd never get away. And understand, who runs Google? Who runs Google? Google, the platform that allowed him to grow. Sundar Pichai, 201. Google celebrates their birthday on September 27th. That's the day the Jesuits were recognized by Roman history. The day leaving 95 days left in the year, they are recognized to counter the 95 Theses written by Martin Luther King. Or excuse me, by Martin Luther.
And if you fucking knew anything about history, you would know that the Protestant Reformation was a Jesuit psyop to create a divide and conquer. You do know you're distracting people, and I'm calling you out, bitch.
Not Martin Luther King, written by Martin Luther, who Martin Luther King Jr. assumed the name of. And MLK Jr. was killed on April 4th, 68, in a leap year, the 95th day of the year, 3 days before the Club of Rome was created. April 7th, 68. Catholicism's got that 68. And you see how Catholicism is 112, 185, 68? Look at mathematics.
See, here we go again. I haven't said one thing that proves anything that I've said about young Pharaoh is true, but let me give you a bunch of bullshit and say, look, it's right there. These are all facts. It's called distraction, and if you're stupid and if you're irrational enough to fall for it, then I can't help you.
Again, the calendar, the language, math, what's going on above, the heavens, the stars, the planets, the sun, the moon, all this stuff synced up in the language. So, young Pharaoh, if you're out there, man, we got to debate. We got to debate. Why aren't you teaching the knowledge that matters? Why are you getting involved in politics? Why are you getting involved in divisive politics? Why are you preaching a message of division? Come on, man. It's how we're held down as a people.
None of that's true.
So, we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Till next time.
Holy shit, I'm glad that's fucking over. He didn't prove one thing that he said about young Pharaoh. All he proved is that he is pissed off and his feelings are hurt and his ego's bruised because he's not as good as young Pharaoh. That's all he proved to us. All he proved is that he's a crow on a wire that doesn't have the tenacity and has too much ego that he can't model a man who's getting the shit done that he wants to do. And he's trying his very best to tear down somebody else so he doesn't feel so bad. I told you I would take your calls, so I'm going to take your calls, but I've got to take a break first. So we will be right back after this message. And this message is from my friend, David Weiss, who happens to be a Jewish individual. So anybody that's talking bullshit out there, you can stop that bullshit right now. Enjoy this. You should order this. It's really, really a fantastic app. And I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. You're watching the UNindoctrination Station. I'm your Christian whistleblower. And we will be right back after this one message with your calls.
The Flat Earth Sun and Moon Clock App, a dynamic new app to teach family and friends about where they actually live. The sky is a perfect clock. The sun measures the hours and days. The moon measures the weeks and months. The star constellations measure the seasons and years. 12/12 or 24-hour clock face, or go hands-free. The Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app with new added features. World Time. See what time it is all around the flat Earth. A true Earth compass that shows true navigation across and around the flat Earth plane. Weather. Tap for detailed local weather information. Know what phase and where the moon is at all times. Watch the sun travel between the tropics for the seasons. Select an amazing background. Add your own or have the app change it to a new one automatically every time you use the app. Add a countdown to your next big date. Learn the truth about our world with the featured video of the day. Web button for additional flat Earth related features, from the mythical curve calculator all the way to Tartaria. Video playlists in different languages. See the real trade winds circling the flat Earth, and clean screen features. Simply click off the items you don't wish to see. The Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app is the best tool to show your friends and strangers how our flat Earth actually works.
And that is from my friend David Weiss from Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole channel, a great channel, and I encourage you to go ahead and check that channel out. You'll be glad that you did. Be careful, though. You might actually learn something. You might actually learn something, ladies and gentlemen. You just might. And we're going to open up the phone lines right now, even though I probably shouldn't. But we're going to open up the phone lines. Thank you, love. And we're going to do it because we always do it. We do it 10 hours a week at least. Well, if you include the Sunday show, we do it at least 12 hours every week because we're not running and we're not hiding from anyone or anything. We do it because it's the right thing to do and because that's the way we roll. But there's some rules, and those rules will be strictly enforced. And number one rule is you have to be polite. And if you're not polite, you will be hung up on and you will not be allowed to call. You also have to be interesting. So if you're not interesting, you'll be hung up on. You have to get right to the point. And we had another rule, don't ask the host how he's doing. The host is fantastic. Don't waste your time on that. And we also have a rule that this is not a place for you to make a speech. This is a place for you to state a question or to state a short statement. So if Hubbard's out there and if little Zachy wants to call, this is not going to be a debate. This is not going to be an open forum. If you can follow those rules, little Zachy and anybody else is welcome to call. If you're not welcome to call, and you will not be received. And Zachy, if you call, if the first words out of your mouth aren't, I apologize to young Pharaoh for besmirching his name and lying about him, you probably won't get to talk to me. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that in mind, it's time to go into the portion of the program that nobody else does on YouTube or hardly ever. It's time to take your call. So if you have the balls to make the calls, I'm your Huckleberry. That's just my game. Polite, interesting, no speeches. And in the words of the great boxing referee that is now passed on, his name was Miles Lane, and he used to say, let's get it on. So with the Miles Lane reminisce, I'm waiting for a call to pop up. There was one there. Oh, phone number. Sorry about that, guys. Phone number. It is 913-279-0831. In fact, I'll go to my late night in the Heartland background so you can see the phone number in a couple of different places. 913-279-0831. And that was a long show. I'm not going to stay here a long time waiting for calls, but if you do want to call, I wanted you to be able to call in and share your questions, share your statements. And I'm sure there was a whole lot of geniuses in the chat room, but for some reason, they don't seem to be calling. I usually get the crickets, so I'm used to it. Welcome to the UNindoctrination Station. This is Jeffrey Daugherty. You're live.
Yeah, and this is Zach. You're doing a great job here, Jeff, with today's broadcast. I just want to start off with that. Thank you. And why are you spreading all these false rumors? Since you said you have my book, can you take a moment, go grab the book and put it on the screen? I'd like to see that, first of all, that you even own the book. Can you do that?
No, first of all, you're on my show, and you don't tell me what to do. And I appreciate you being polite. Wait a second, Zach. Hold on a minute. Zach. Zach.
Okay, go ahead, Jeff.
I bought your book by PDF. And just because you think that you've got me and you think that you're going to show how bad I am and how I'm a liar. No, just watch. Hold on a second before I hang up on you, and I will put it up on the screen.
Do it.
I'm going to show you that your distraction and assault against me are just as spurious as they are against young Pharaoh.
Where did that ever happen?
Right now, you said I don't even have the integrity to say I didn't. You just accused me of not having your book. Well, open your eyes, little Zachy.
Well, you made a totally false statement. You said it's unreadable. I mean, the book's very
open
clear.
your eyes, little Zachy.
So you lied about the quality of the book.
No, I think. Wait a minute.
Almost everything you said was a lie, Jeff.
See?
You said I live in my mom's house. I live in my own house, and my house is paid off.
You're not being polite, Zachary. Zachary, you're not being polite.
Jeff, you just did a live stream lying about me left and right.
No, I didn't lie about you.
Jeff, is it just me, or is it you that was left by your wife for another man? I've never had that happen to me. I know a lot of women leave their men because they're gay, so you shouldn't make that accusation to me, should you?
And I was man enough to say that I should not have said that. It was egregious. I shouldn't have said it. I was emotional, and I should not have said that. Not so much. No, you got to let me finish, Zach.
So much about being a man. You got left by your woman. Real men don't get in the way of other two men. I addressed young Pharaoh, not you. Why are you making a video defending young Pharaoh? By the way, young Pharaoh just recently said he was done with white people. So why are you here lobbying for young Pharaoh, who makes it about race and divisiveness all the time? And yes, he does. I can dig up his video where he said he was done with white people.
Are you looking at the screen, little Zachy? What do you see?
I'm on delay, so it's on delay right now. I still see your mug on there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have my old book, Letters and Numbers. That's
yep.
my old book.
Yep. So wait a second, Zach. Wait a second. Were you wrong?
I sent you this for free when I did your live stream years ago. I sent you this.
Were you wrong about me or not?
I sent you this when I did your live stream.
Wait a minute. I have the book, and I bought the book. I could pull up the receipt if you want me to. But see, this is what you do. This is what you do. You don't have anything really to say to prove anything. You're just throwing out accusations, and I called you.
You just like to talk and hear yourself talk. Jeff, I saw your video after the Super Bowl was over. You said I didn't watch it, but Brady won, and if the Super Bowl was rigged, Brady wouldn't have won it. Well, Jeff, we helped a lot of people win a lot of money because we said before the season began that the Bucs would beat the Chiefs. So a lot of people had that future in. We also went 13-0 in the playoffs.
I told you can't do this. I told you can't do this. If you're going to come back on the show, you're going to make one statement and we're going to address it. You came on the show and you said, you don't even have my book. I just showed you that I had your book. So you've been proven to be false. You've been proven to be false. Now, if you want to take a deep breath and calm down and be polite, I'll bring you back on the show. But if you can't be polite, and if you can't talk like a normal person can, and young Pharaoh, anyway, what you can't do is make an accusation after accusation after accusation after accusation and try to control the program, because it's not your show and you're not going to. Now, if you'll calm down and ask one question at a time and let that question be thoroughly sorted out, I'll bring you back. I shouldn't, because you're going all the way back to where I was a pastor and my wife left me for my piano player. And you're attacking me for not being a man because my wife left me for my piano player. That is Bush League. That is ad hominem bullshit. But I gave you that one because I was wrong in using a derogatory term against you. It was out of anger. I was wrong. I never should have said that. That's a word that shouldn't be used. And I'm man enough to realize that I shouldn't have said it. But are you man enough to realize that you shouldn't have insulted me? I've apologized to you, and I'll bring you back on the channel. But if your first words aren't, I apologize for saying that about you, we're done. So, and if you're not Zachary Hubbard and you want to talk, I'm here. It's the UNindoctrination Station. You're with Jeffrey Daugherty. What's on your mind?
Hey, it's Butch.
What's up, Butch?
Jeffrey, I love your show, and I really did enjoy you were having that conversation on that guy. He's talking bad on young Pharaoh. He doesn't know anything and had no proof or anything. You know the realness and the truth of everything is to be going on, and that's what we appreciate.
Well, I don't know the truth about everything, but I do know young Pharaoh. And when somebody attacks somebody needlessly, I did this for Wayne Steiger a couple years ago. Wayne didn't deserve to be attacked. Young Pharaoh didn't deserve to be attacked. And sometimes you just have to set the record straight.
Did young Pharaoh just to say that Jewish people isn't real?
Yeah, I didn't read the exact quote, but if young Pharaoh was
on Twitter, it's on Twitter. I've seen it. He
okay.
said that it's all fake. He said Judaism is a lie and it doesn't actually exist. So that is true?
Here's the whole thing. Judaism is a lie. Christianity is a lie. Every ism, every denomination, every religion that is used to divide people is a lie. So yes, Judaism's a lie, just like Christianity is a lie, just like Islam is a lie. Young Pharaoh is trying to bring enlightenment to people that aren't willing or ready to hear the truth. And sometimes you take some hits for that. But yes, Judaism's a lie. And listen to my whole statement. Zachy will make a video of that. Jeff Daugherty says Judaism is a lie, just like Christianity, just like Islam, just like any other religion that says. And
he said it doesn't exist. He said it doesn't exist.
And
so
it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's a energetic mind fuck. It doesn't really exist. But I need to correct my statement a little bit. There are some religions out there. The religions that are lies and don't exist except for divide people are the religions of exclusivity. You gotta pray to Allah. You gotta pray to Yahweh. You gotta pray to Jesus. And that if you don't, you can't make it into some place called heaven and you're going to some place called hell. So yes, young Pharaoh was 100% correct in exposing the false paradigm of Judaism and all the other Abrahamic religions. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it. And we'll wait a few minutes and see if anybody else wants to call in. It's late night in the heartland. Well, not yet, but you're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
It's Zach. I'm calling back. So, Jeff.
Do you have anything to say to me? Do you have anything to say to me?
I do. You called me a liar and said I don't.
No, I'm looking for something from you or you're done. Something I gave you.
Super Bowl.
Nope. You can call back again when you apologize for calling me gay and saying that I'm a piece of shit because my wife left me. And if you can't do that, you can't talk on my show anymore. It's late night in the heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Why you hang up on a Butch?
Butch, it's called the call was over and we got other people holding and we go to another call. It's late night in the heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Yeah, Jeff, I'm sorry that you think I called you a homo.
All right. Unless you apologize, you don't get to call back. I just won't answer your call anymore. And I'm not answering yours anymore either, Butch. So is there any more people out there that aren't little bitches like these two that really want to talk and really want to get through something? Because if not, I got a lot better things to do. Trust me, a lot better things to do. So if anybody else wants to call, please do. I'll give you about 2 or 3 more minutes. And other than that, we're done here. Pickles, did you order a code red? That's hilarious. Let's take a look at some of the comments and see what we got going on here. Butch isn't gay. Yeah, who cares? I don't care if he's gay or not. He didn't say he apologized. He said, I apologize if you think. No, that's not an apology. An apology is like I said. I was wrong to use that derogatory term in reference to Zach. It was my bad. I was wrong. And I really do feel bad about it. And I apologize. When he's ready to do that, he can come on my show again. And until he is, he can't. It's just that simple. He didn't even apologize. You're right. Leave them on, Jeff, and rip them apart. You know, the old Jeff would have done that, but it's just not worth it. Thank you, Bill. I really appreciate it very, very much. What else we got here? Yeah, this clearly won't go anywhere. It just won't, and I understand that. I'm trying to see if somebody that's not Zach. I mean, I don't know what these people do, but they got all day to. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. What's on your mind?
Yeah, hi, Jeff. It's Kathy.
Hey, Kathy. What's on your mind?
I happen to follow Zachary, and he really enlightened me about the numbers, which is very helpful. But I also have an issue with Zachary slamming like Rush Limbaugh, who I admire.
That's because Zachary's a flaming liberal, and liberals are angry, and they've been beaten so bad for so long, and they can't really argue on logical terms. They have to attack, and that's what he's doing with young Pharaoh.
Well, and that's what I saw, because I saw no basis for him to attack Rush Limbaugh except for numbers. And he gave no information. I mean, I really adored Zach, even if he's the left. But I'm wondering how he's going to find the light. Everything's negative.
You're assuming that he wants to find the light.
That's what it seems like.
Many
of his call-in followers try to show him other truth, and I think he's open to it, but he's so into the dark side.
And what you have to understand is that, and I've shown this completely and without doubt, the gematria that he uses is Kabbalistic black magic. And I know it shows you some things that look cool, but are you really willing to subject yourself and go into energetic cooperation with black magic? Is it worth it?
Oh, no.
Okay,
oh, no.
I didn't think so.
Knowing it's enough.
I agree. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Go too far with it. Pardon me?
Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Yeah, there's a Tom Numbers that does the other side of the gematria. He's very interesting.
What's his name?
And just Tom, we call him Tom Numbers. I'll have to get you his name.
Okay, Tom Numbers.
And he shows the numbers in a positive way.
Does he use gematria?
Yes.
Well, here's something that just popped into my head. You know that I believe, and I feel I've proven repeatedly, that the Bible is the script of the fear and guilt, blood magic, trauma-based mind control matrix that is Christianity. But yet, in that Bible, there are things that we can see that are disclosure to us. They're tells. So the possibility exists with this Tom Numbers guy, and I don't know, that I guess you could use their own black magic of gematria against them to show positive stuff. It's a possibility. I'm not saying that it's true, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, that's my point, is I think it can go both ways. Just like what you said on a previous show about L. Ron Hubbard.
Right. That's a great example. That's a great example.
Made me think of that show.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think we need to find the balance with it, because not all people are darkly bad and not all people are greatly great.
But here's the problem that I have with it. Was your name Kathy?
Yes.
Kathy, here's the problem I have. If you are going to use, let's say, and let's just give little Zachy the benefit of the doubt. Let's say that little Zachy was a better man and little Zachy was trying to use gematria to expose the cabal. Let's just say that's true. Then you would have to do like I do and say the Bible is a fear and guilt, blood magic, trauma-based mind control matrix. You'd have to say this is bad. And like I say, most people should throw your Bible out. Most people shouldn't try this, but if you're an advanced practitioner and if you really know what you're doing, you can go through and find things in the Bible that show, like the fact that prophecy and the book of Revelation, specifically the 7 seals, is a prediction of communist revolution and takeover of a country. And it's written that way to make people that are Christians not only stand by and let it happen, but cheer it on, knowing that they're being taken over the whole time. So you can't I know you are, and I'm just trying to make a point. You can't use Kabbalah to expose the cabal. You can't use gematria to expose the cabal if you defend gematria as a great practice when it's clearly Kabbalistic black magic. Anything else you wanted to add?
Well, you're exactly right, because they show, and there's a map, they show it goes to the left, it goes to the right, and it's back and forth. So if you can only show the darkness, how are you going to find the light?
100%. I like the way you think. Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I like Zachary, even though I would like him to look at the other side, the flip coin. And I don't think he believes in the Bible.
Well, you know,
from following him.
I liked him. I had him on my show. It was a co-host idea, but I had him on my show, and I liked him too. I was indifferent to Zachary. I knew that he was using gematria. I'm against that. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. In fact, he wouldn't say this. He'd probably deny it, but I've still got the message on my channel. He put a message on my channel about the Super Bowl video and said, I'll debate you anytime. But to be frank with you, he's not that good at debate. I wiped the floor with him last time. It wasn't that interesting. So I didn't have any, and I didn't even mention it because I don't have anything against him. But when he comes out against a man of such integrity and such honor and a man that's getting shit done, and that's a friend of mine, I could not stand by and let it go. Yeah. Thank you so much for the call. I really, really appreciate it. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. What's on your mind?
Hi, Jeff. I want to go over a quote from young Pharaoh. It's actually entitled a YouTube video.
Oh, is this going to be a getcha thing, a gotcha thing? Are you trying to do a gotcha?
White people have no souls and they're animals.
How long ago was that quote? You don't know, do you?
It's 2 years ago. I've watched young Pharaoh.
Oh, really?
He's saying white have no souls.
And has he said something since then that retracts that statement? Yes or no?
I don't believe it.
Yes, he has, because he's had me on. Why, if young Pharaoh thought that white people had no souls, why would he have me on his channel? Why would I have his cell phone number? Why was he going to be a guest in my own home? Would he come and stay in Cynthia and I's home if he didn't think white people had souls? See, that's the difference between me and you. You're trying to find one quote that somebody said 2 years ago. You can find quotes from me 2 years ago that say Jesus is real. That's because 2 years ago, I thought that fake ass bitch was real. Now I know he's not. So don't try. See, again, it's such classic bait and switch, divide and conquer. It's such poor scholarship. Don't try that shit here, bro. I used to do it. 20 years I was a preacher using that bullshit. Now I can smell it a mile away. 281 area code. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff, FPC here. So, you know, I don't agree with everything that young Pharaoh said.
Me either.
I mean, yeah, he's absolutely right, though. I mean, you have to get your mind, body, and spirit right. But I think the problem for a lot of people is letting go of it, and it's hard for them. I mean, it was for me for a while. And being a black person, I know you said you was in the black church at one time too.
Yeah, my first 3 years, Church of God in Christ. I was the only white guy there, man.
Yeah, and you see how they really just like engrave that into your brain. So it's hard for people to let that go. But once they let that go, it'll be okay. So I just wanted to give you encouragement to keep doing what you're doing because you're on the right track.
Can I ask you one question, please?
Sure.
I think Pharaoh and I, at least the last time I talked to him, we have a little bit of a disagreement on what can ultimately happen. I think, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think young Pharaoh is reluctantly of the opinion that even eventually after the black race gets optimized and the white race gets optimized and we kick out that other white meat and we take this thing back. I think that young Pharaoh believes that even then we're probably going to have to live separately. I hold out hope that we could actually live together, and it wouldn't be 85% segregation, that it would be more like, we live together, but we're not in the same house. Because I learn a lot from people, from Black people, Asian people, Hispanic people, and I would feel a loss if I couldn't interact with all peoples of different races. Do you think that Pharaoh's right and we're probably going to have to be separate, or that maybe I got a little hope and maybe we can all get this shit and hang out together? And there's no right or wrong.
And that's one of the things I disagree with him on. You don't have to be segregated to optimize your race. You should be able to learn from other races and become stronger by the things that you learn and pass on from generation to generation.
But you see his point, right? It does make sense for Black folks to come together and, do that FUBU thing, that for us, by us thing. I get that. It makes sense.
Yeah, but at the same time, we can come together and still be in the same place.
I hope you're right.
I really do.
I hope you're right.
I want to learn about what George Washington did. I want to learn about General Patton.
And I want to learn what George Washington Carver did.
Right. It shouldn't be, we got to be segregated to be taught this. It should be that let's all get on the same page. And I think that's where people are missing the ball.
Right.
It's not you. It's not him. It's the other white meat. It's certain people.
It is.
To be kicked out.
100%. And when we realize that they own the plantation and they got us in separate slave houses fighting each other, and we join together and fight them, then this shit comes down. But I got Pharaoh to promise that even if we do have to live together, we can have a barbecue every month. Even if we can't live together, we can have some barbecues every month.
That sounds good to me. Hey, I like French food.
You know what? You are a breath of fresh air. You are a wonderful woman. You're a fine human being. And I'm very honored and privileged that you would take time out of your day to call me. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome, Jeff. You take care.
I will, sweetheart. I will. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, Jeff? It's Cabbage.
Cabbage, what's up, my friend?
Oh, man, I'm all right, man. I just wanted to respond to, the good video that you're putting out, that fire that you're putting out for us today.
Thank you, sir.
And, I just want to say about the segregation thing. I mean, that's up to whoever want to do that. I don't want to do that personally. Me, because I have white friends, I have Mexican friends, I have, then me personally, I grew up where, I got my own family that don't like me, you know what I mean? So
I remember you said that the other night.
Yeah, and then you learn from when you go outside your family. You know what I mean? And to the community and all that too. You're gonna get groups of people that you might meet, and there's gonna be some people in there that might not like you.
Right.
That's just life. You feel me? And you just got to keep stepping, because even I didn't been down, and the person that helped me up was family. You know what I mean? Family is who you meet, and what they come out to be in the end. From learning from each other, and being around each other and respecting each other. So
somebody wants to know, Cabbage, if you're a vegetarian.
I'm trying the vegan thing right now. I've been going for 2 months. So
well, good for you.
Family, we trying to stay strong and keep our heads up on that end.
Well, you let me know how that works out for you, and I hope that I hear from you. If not tonight, sometime again this week. You're a great caller, and like that last lady, it's so nice. Sometimes, Cynthia and I sit here and we're like, oh damn, it's so bad. But then I get on this YouTube, and we hear from beautiful people of integrity, people of just great human beings, and it makes my soul surge to know that it ain't over, and there's still people like me and you, and we're gonna make it, brother. We're gonna make it.
Yeah. And see, what people have to be well rounded on their history, because I know a lot of Black people are still angry because of slavery or whatever. I went through that when I started learning my history. I went through being a militant, finding out the stuff we went through and all that. But they don't know that there's a higher purpose for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But they have to look through. They have to really I mean, me personally, I didn't learn nothing about the Bible until I left religion. You know what I'm saying? I realized all of it was the same. They just changed the names. You know what I'm saying? It was two brothers. It was a father, and you know what I mean? And, you know, all of them start the same, you know, and all of them say the same thing. So, you know, and I wanted to point out that in John, you know, where let me see, where's my Bible at? In John, yeah, you know, Jesus went to the secret blood meeting. You know, he went to the secret blood ritual. It was right after you know, I got it right here. You know, so, you know, that is the truth, you know, about that, you know, all the way through. So I don't even have time to get on this right now, but I'm gonna have to have it marked off. Next time you call, I'm gonna get online and I'm gonna spit the fire to you, and you know what I mean. And then
all right, Cabbage. I'll be looking forward to it.
All right.
Thank you, brother. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you.
All right. That's Butch, aka Bitch. Not giving him another chance. If Zach wants to call one more time, I'll give him one more chance to do the right thing. And if he does the right thing, as soon as I pick up the phone, then we'll have a conversation. If not, he's not welcome on my channel any longer. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. What's on your mind?
Hey.
Joe Sapiens, what's up?
I am really inspired by you and Pharaoh.
Thank you.
To empower me to be the best that I can. Well, I am the one that empowers myself.
Yep.
You are like a specimen. And Exhibit A and B with Pharaoh. And I think I'll call him up sometime. Give him a heads up.
Do that, Joe. Do that. I really appreciate you. Hopefully we'll hear from you again tonight. And I saw Zach calling in here. So Zach will give you one more chance to do the right thing. Or maybe not. I guess he hung up. Yeah, but I don't see him on here. Unless you switched your phone number on me. Oh, he switched the phone number. Oh, he thought you'd be tricky, huh? Is this Zach?
No, it's not.
Well, what's on your mind? I won't hang up on you just because you're not Zach.
Cool. Yeah, what's on my mind is I'm just calling in to say hi, and I would like to understand a little bit more why you would call Zach a fraud.
Brother, I just did a 2-hour video about why, because he's using Kabbalistic black magic, and I don't think that's a very good practice. Thank you for calling. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. What's on your mind?
Jeff, it's Zach. And I started to apologize last time, and you hung up, so I don't know what to say. So
you didn't start to apologize. You didn't start to apologize. But I'll give you a chance right now.
I said I was apologizing that you thought I called you.
Nope. You can't play your double talk bullshit with me. Folks, I really appreciate you for being here. We're coming back tonight, even though we spent 2 hours here. We didn't expect to. Man, it feels good to know that there's great people out there, and that the people that are against you, they just can't come to the mic and be strong. So we appreciate you. We do. I used to get mad at certain people were saying, I love you very much, because I guess I didn't think it was sincere. But I do feel very great love and kinship with the great people that are on this channel. And I love the hell out of you. I can't deny it. We appreciate you so very much. This has been something we had to do. We'll be back with our normal broadcasting tonight at 10 p.m. And we open the phone lines then too. So if you want to call back tonight, you're welcome to. We're talking tonight about dark chocolate, the sinister side of Willy Wonka, but you don't have to talk about that. We welcome your calls. Again, polite, interesting, to the point, not making speeches. But if you can't do that, you can't call in. Thank you so much to everybody that was in the chat room today. Thank you so much to everybody that thought to call in and took time out of your life. It's my privilege to be a part of yours. For the lovely Cynthia, the light of my life, Tracy Dyer, all of our great all of our great moderators, I appreciate the hell out of you. And remember, you don't have original sin. You got the spark of divinity within. You don't have to go on bended knee to somebody else's savior because you're divine, you're sovereign, you're free. And if you get busy and quit bitching and moaning and whining and complaining about other people, there's nothing that can stop you. Our best days are yet to come. This nation's best days are yet to come. And your best days are yet to come because we're the last generation of real humans. I'll give you a language alert, but I feel like I need to say this today. We're the last generation of real humans. And yay, we may get led into the valley of dark shadows by that bitch-ass God of the Bible, but we will fear no evil. We left that bitch, but we fear no evil. Why? Because we're the biggest, baddest motherfuckers in the valley, and we win. We'll see you tonight, 10 p.m.